Composting is an effective way to do something useful with your kitchen scraps and food soiled paper. It's a great way to reduce your environmental impact. It saves landfill space and prevents food from releasing methane in a landfill. Plus, you end up with nutrient-rich compost for your plants. Many people avoid composting because compost piles require land and can have an unpleasant smell. But composting in a tumbler is easy because it's neat and tidy, and it's easier to keep the pile aerated. The tumbler method is simple. You start by filling the tumbler with compostable materials and then monitor the heat and moisture while the materials break down. Ready to compost with all of our different materials ready to go. We have some leaves that will make up the majority of the pile and help us get the right carbon to nitrogen ratio. You can also add garden clippings and flowers. We have a lot of different paper products that can help us get the right mix again of carbon to nitrogen. And we have some paperboard from tissue boxes. Just make sure if you're adding something like this that it doesn't have a plastic lining, but it's just plain cardboard or paperboard. Our food soiled paper will need to be cut up a little bit into smaller pieces, and same with our world centric plates and bowls. We'll want to make sure that those get shredded into smaller pieces so that the microbes can eat through them more quickly. For our nitrogen ratio, we have some leftovers, some coffee grounds, which are a really nutrient-rich addition to the compost pile. And then for anything like this, these larger peels and other food scraps, we'll want to cut these up into smaller pieces so that they break down more quickly. You can, of course, collect everything in a compostable bag, like our kitchen pail bags. These are okay for home composting and will break down in your pile. So we're ready to go, and we can put this all into our tumbler. So the compost tumbler that we're using today is an EnviroCycle round tumbler. It has this base that the compost tumbler spins on and helps you turn the material that's inside. And it's got this nice lid with a little hatch to close it so that little critters don't try to get inside. And it's really quite easy. We're just going to add everything into the composter, try to maintain a ratio of about 75% carbon to 25% nitrogen. Another thing to keep in mind is that you might want to collect everything ahead of time and have all of your materials ready to go so that you're not continually adding to the tumbler, because that resets the time and the process, and it takes a little bit longer. So it's nice to have a lot of starter material that you can put in here and get the process going. So one thing you can do to get your pile going is to add a compost starter or some earthworm castings. This will give the microorganisms something to get started on and help speed up the process. So we're just going to sprinkle this in and give it a good Keep turning the compost to make sure you have the right level of air and moisture. With enough time, it'll turn into a dark, rich brown matter. You can apply this to your potted or outdoor plants.